Europe's history of colonialism has cast a long shadow over its present-day relationship with immigration. The UK and France, in particular, bear the imprint of their colonial past in the composition of their migrant populations. Following the Second World War, both nations faced labour shortages. This led to the implementation of guest worker programs. These programs encouraged immigration from former colonies. The arrival of immigrants from the Caribbean, Indian subcontinent and Africa brought about significant cultural and social changes. These changes were not always met with open arms. The influx of immigrants sparked debates about national identity, integration and belonging. These debates continue to resonate today. Germany, too, experienced significant immigration in the post-war era. However, its history differed from that of the UK and France. Germany's post-war immigration was largely shaped by the influx of ethnic Germans displaced from Eastern Europe. The fall of the Berlin Wall and the subsequent reunification of Germany in 1990 further altered the country's demographic landscape. The reunification led to a wave of migration from the former East Germany to the West. This migration had a profound impact on Germany's social fabric and economic structure. It also reignited debates about national identity. Immigration policies across Europe have undergone significant transformations in recent years. The UK, following its exit from the European Union, implemented a points-based system in 2024. This system prioritizes skilled workers and imposes stricter requirements for family reunification. France, under pressure to address concerns about integration and security, introduced a new law in 2024. This law focuses on strengthening language requirements for immigrants and promoting civic integration. Germany, with its aging population and need for skilled labor, has sought to streamline its immigration processes. The country's Skilled Immigration Act, implemented in 2020, aims to attract qualified professionals from outside the EU. However, the rise of anti-immigration sentiment in Germany has led to calls for stricter controls. This has created a climate of uncertainty for potential immigrants. Sweden, once known for its open-door policy towards asylum seekers, has witnessed a shift in its approach. The country has tightened its asylum rules and introduced stricter requirements for family reunification. Denmark has adopted some of the most restrictive immigration policies in Europe. These policies include stringent border controls, reduced social benefits for immigrants, and a controversial proposal to relocate asylum seekers to Rwanda. Poland, historically a country of emigration, has seen a recent increase in immigration. This is largely due to the influx of refugees fleeing the conflict in Ukraine. The economic impact of immigration is a subject of intense debate. Proponents argue that immigrants contribute to economic growth by filling labor shortages, paying taxes, and boosting innovation. They point to studies showing that immigrants, on average, contribute more in taxes than they receive in benefits. Opponents, however, express concerns about the strain on public services, wage suppression, and the potential displacement of native-born workers. The reality is that the economic impact of immigration is complex and contingent on various factors. These factors include the skills and education level of immigrants, the sectors in which they work, and the overall health of the economy. High-skilled immigration, particularly in sectors facing labour shortages, is generally seen as beneficial. Low-skilled immigration, on the other hand, can put downward pressure on wages and increase competition for jobs. It is important to note that immigrants are not a monolithic group. Their economic contributions vary depending on their individual skills, education, and experiences. Moreover, the economic impact of immigration can vary significantly across different regions and sectors within a country. The fabric of society, integration, and its discontents. The social and cultural impact of immigration is perhaps the most contentious aspect of the debate. Successful integration is crucial for fostering social cohesion and ensuring that immigrants become productive members of society. However, integration is a two-way street. It requires effort from both immigrants and the host society. Language acquisition is often seen as a key factor in successful integration. It enables immigrants to communicate effectively, access education and employment opportunities, and participate fully in society. Cultural exchange and interaction can enrich the social fabric of a nation. However, cultural differences can also lead to misunderstandings, prejudice, and discrimination. The presence of large immigrant communities can sometimes lead to the formation of parallel societies. These parallel societies operate outside the mainstream culture and norms. This can create social divisions and undermine social cohesion. Addressing these challenges requires a multifaceted approach that includes promoting intercultural dialogue, combating discrimination, and ensuring equal opportunities for all members of society. A continent divided, public opinion, and the politics of immigration. Immigration has become one of the most divisive political issues in Europe. The rise of populist and nationalist parties has amplified anti-immigration sentiment. These parties often exploit fears about cultural change, economic insecurity, and national identity for political gain. Public opinion on immigration varies widely across Europe. Some countries, such as Sweden and Germany, have historically been more welcoming of immigrants. However, even in these countries, public support for immigration has waned in recent years. This is partly due to the perception that immigration has placed a strain on public services and led to increased competition for jobs and housing. In other countries, such as Denmark and Hungary, anti-immigration sentiment is more entrenched. Governments in these countries have implemented strict immigration policies that have drawn criticism from human rights groups. The politicization of immigration has made it challenging to have a nuanced and evidence-based discussion about the issue. This has fueled polarization and hindered the development of effective and humane immigration policies. A mosaic of migrants' demographics and diversity. Europe's immigrant population is diverse, encompassing a wide range of nationalities, languages, religions, and cultural backgrounds. The largest groups of immigrants in Europe come from other European countries, followed by those from Africa, Asia, and Latin America. The reasons for immigration are also varied. They include seeking asylum, family reunification, and economic opportunities. The demographics of immigrant populations vary significantly across European countries. For example, Germany has a large Turkish immigrant community, while the United Kingdom has a significant number of immigrants from India, Pakistan, and Bangladesh. These demographic differences are reflected in the cultural landscape of European cities. They are also evident in the social and political debates surrounding immigration. Understanding the demographics of immigrant populations is essential for developing effective integration policies and fostering social cohesion. Public services under strain, the impact of immigration on welfare states. The impact of immigration on public services, such as healthcare, education, and social welfare, is a complex and multifaceted issue. Immigrants, like all residents, contribute to and benefit from public services. However, the influx of large numbers of immigrants can put a strain on public services, particularly in countries with already stretched budgets. This strain is particularly acute in sectors such as healthcare and education, where demand can fluctuate significantly. The aging populations of many European countries further exacerbate the pressure on public services. This is because an aging population leads to increased demand for healthcare and social care. At the same time, it reduces the size of the working age population that contributes to the tax base. Addressing the challenges posed by immigration to public services requires a multi-pronged approach. This approach includes ensuring adequate funding for public services, promoting the integration of immigrants into the labor market, and addressing the root causes of migration.